Hello everybody, today is December 26th. My name is John and welcome to Crazy Days Homestead. So I got up early this morning, it's my day off, getting ready to move the cows. I gave the big steers grain. And I gave them some hay, so they're all happy for now. I got them locked in. Oh, going through the fence. You gotta be careful, especially if you're a guy. See here, you see, there's a lot of that grain that they don't even digest. You can see pieces of it in there. Now I'm gonna take you out here. I'm moving the cow fence. I'll take you along with me and we'll have a conversation. All right? Stand by. Here we go. Okay. Now, oh, buckets, you see that? I got two left-handed gloves. How in the world did I do that? Oh, well. We'll just work with one for now. All right, I'm going to grab some of these stakes. And a hammer. Well, we'll just take the push-ins for now. And hopefully I won't need the rebar ones. I already have some push-ins out there. Okay. Now, I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about. And let's talk about what have I learned so far. Now, I've only been farming, we'll say, for about 5-6 years now. And specific to cows, what is the hardest part about raising cows? Raising beef, I should say. Because I haven't raised any dairy cows yet. So, other than, let's talk about from the time you get them. So, you go to pick up your beef cows, which, if you find the right person, you could probably just have them delivered. But you got to have a livestock trailer, or you got to know someone that has one so you can borrow it, which isn't a major big deal. Usually if you're in the farming or horse community, you can find someone that'll lend you a livestock trailer, or they'll just haul it for you, haul the animals for you. Well, I can see that's a problem. I'm gonna have to fix that. All right, let's start Now, when I put my stakes in, I just walk 15 steps. Yep, I might as well just throw them down. I was actually considering building or using using a backpack. Now these, you see how I'm doing that? I just kind of tap these in. The ground's just a little bit froze. Now these aren't Greg Judy and Joel Salatin and them. They use the Bauer push-in stakes. I've not used them. They say they're much better, and I'm sure they are. But I just have not committed to spending. I want to say if you buy like 50, they're around $4.50 a piece. And I've just not committed to spending that much on a stake. Mostly because I can't what is the word I'm looking for? Now these 3/8 rebar stakes work really good for corner post. You make them about 4 feet long, 4.5 feet. Probably get away with, probably be better to make them like 5 feet, but there goes Jaybird. I don't know what he's up to. He's been running around in there hunting rig all morning. Anyway, bring it back around here. I just can't see spending that much money on stakes right now. $10, $11, $12, $13, $14, $15. And I already have a bunch of these. These are just the Tractor Supply ones. You can see that one just broke. They don't do well in the cold. You gotta be really, really careful. Just barely tap them, and then these little tabs break off too if you're not careful. Now this isn't working out too bad with the camera, not having a GoPro. I just stuck the tripod down on my coat, holding the camera. Anyway, the Bauer stakes are better. And if I could justify it, that's the word I was looking for. If I could justify it, I would probably use them. But you gotta, when you're starting out and you start accumulating stuff, you just do whatever you can to, that you can justify. If you can buy the good stuff to start off with, go ahead. All right, so getting back to our what's Trump call that? He's doing the circle or the weave. Yeah, so doing the weave, coming back on the weave here. So you pick up your cows. Now, I would imagine, depending on the area and your relationship with whoever you're buying the cows from, that will determine how much you're going to pay for them. Oops, sorry about that. So, your biggest expense will be paying for them. 1, 2, 3. Then this year, so it's December 26th, and I have only had to feed maybe, I don't know, 25 bales of hay, which, if you're looking at it from a business perspective where cost matters, how much did that hay cost you? Well, we make our own hay. So some people would say, well, that hay didn't cost me anything. Well, it did. Because I had to buy I bought a hay bine this year. You got to buy your twine. 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15. You got to buy your twine. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 13, 14, 15. You also got to put fuel in your tractor. You have upkeep on your tractor, maintenance, whatever, parts. So, your hay's not free. I don't care if you make it yourself. There's a price associated with that. Now, you can get down to brass tacks and do an all-in calculation where you figure out fuel, maintenance costs, twine, buying a hay bine, all that stuff. But you can't say that it doesn't cost you anything, because it does. Oh, come on. There's a goonie there, I think. But what is that cost? What is the value of that cost worth to you? And to me, being able to raise my animals the way I want, know how they're taken care of, fed, watered, treated, is worth more than anything. Let's talk about fencing. Can you get by with polywire and temporary fence? Yes, you can. Do I advise it? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, if that's the only way you can do it, then do it. It's better than not raising your own animals, in my opinion. And don't get too hung up on how the other guy does it. One thing about farmers, and I don't want to classify it just as farmers. Let's say people in rural communities. Typically, we're very thrifty. You can say cheap, you can say whatever you want. You know why? Because we worked our guts out all our lives. And we don't make probably, I would say we're probably under middle class wages. And we don't like giving our money away because the government takes enough of it without asking, whether it's local, state, or federal. Yeah, I'd say that's good. And you gotta pretty much fight for every penny you keep. So, do what you think is best. You can raise a cow on a 1/4 acre in your backyard. You can raise a pig on a 1/4 acre in your backyard. Or less. A pig, you don't have to pasture raise a pig. Just buy good feed. That's all you need to do. Alright, I'm going to set you up here somewhere. Oh, sorry about that. Stand by. Now, do you need housing for shelter? Let's not even call it housing. Let's call it shelter. For your beef? No, you don't. Is it better if you have some? In my opinion, yes. What happens if an animal gets hurt? You got 3 feet of snow coming in. You know, a vet has to come, whatever the case might be, but it's better to have a place where you can contain them, even if it's for a short period of time, if you have to. All right. Let's see how much. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'll show you guys how I do this. Make sure this thing ain't going to fall over. So these reels are nice. Those are the cheap ones from Premier Fence. I think they're like 25, 30 bucks. I stretch this fence up. I need a little bit of slack here. So I pull a little bit of slack. And then I put tension. This is your tension. I hold that. I wrap around. And I take both of them. And I just do a simple half hitch. That's all you need. And then I lock my thing in, pull it tight. Good to go. Now, this here's about 4 feet off the ground, so I'm going to put another stake in there just to pull that down a little bit. Anyway, doing the weave, getting her back in here. The other thing is, how much time do you want to put into your animals? Because you should be tending to your animals every day. Someone should be. Now, that can be you, that can be a neighbor, that can be someone you hire, doesn't matter, but you need to check your animals every day. Now for me, I can pretty much see all my animals from my house. So I can keep pretty good track of them. But every farmer will tell you, oh, you know what? I just thought of something. I need to put a back fence up. And I'm going to have to redo that. Anyway, any farmer will tell you, you need to keep an eye on your animals every day. And you'll notice one, it'll be like, that thing's not walking right, or that thing's got a snotty nose, or whatever the case might be. Alright, so I'm going to unhook this. I forgot I need to put a back fence up. The reason I'm putting a back fence up is there's still some grass in there that they can graze. even though they're being kind of picky right now. And if I leave that open, they'll go through and they'll pick the rest of it out. And you know, take the ice cream, so to speak. And there won't be anything left the next time I graze them on it. Now, I was telling my brother last night, this thing is too low. What is this doing? That's as high as it goes. Anyway, I was telling my brother last night, I said, by the time we process that big steer, I don't even think I'll be out of pasture on this side of the creek and have to move them back. So I might just run them through again. That cattle crossing needs a little fixing. And depending if the creek's froze, I don't want them going across the ice, breaking a leg, whatever. So we'll play that by ear. Alright, so you need to buy your beef, biggest expense. Buy them young if you can, and raise them up on pasture. That's the cheapest way to do it. Do not buy a beef that is not weaned off its mother. It should be at least like a year and a half old. So that's going to be probably a 5 to 600 pound animal. I will tell you, steers put on weight a lot faster and they fill out better. You can buy heifers, you can buy bulls, whatever you want to do. Bulls ultimately will put on the most weight the fastest, I guess, but you have to have the right breeding to have bulls, because they're crazy. All right, I'm gonna get some stuff done here. I'll be back here in a minute, so stand by. Now, the other thing, I'm just trying to tell you stuff as it comes to mind here, is you have to remember, it doesn't matter if you're sick, whatever's going on. You know, if your cows get out, they need fed, watered, moved, whatever. You gotta do it. So it's a responsibility. And all right, so what I did here is I ran the poly wire in with the high tensile through the insulators. Now I got this gate system here. I don't want to run my poly wire across there, because what's going to end up happening is it's going to short out. So I'm going to pull that stake right there, move it over here, and I'm going to run a diagonal, and then that's going to be my back fence. But anyway, going back on the weave, just remember, you cannot depend on anybody but yourself when it comes to taking care of your animals. Like when it's hay season, you know, if you're raising animals for people and you call them and say, hey, it's time to make hay, because hay season, a lot of times you might get a day or two notice with the weather, and you got to do it. You got to make hay when the sun's shining. So, and sometimes you have help, sometimes you don't, but you got to make hay. You got to take care of your animals. So it's really a commitment, and it's a lifestyle, because like, could I leave for a week and go on vacation? Yeah, but I would have to make sure I had everything in place, that things are taken care of when you're gone. So, all right, back on the weave. Your biggest expense going to be buying your animals. Feed's going to be your next biggest expense. Infrastructure, fencing, housing, whatever, Housing is not a big deal, but fencing, I would highly recommend you get a strong, hard barrier, which is like high tensile fence, or like multi-strand fence, like goat fence or something like that. Pressure treated post, or there's some new type poly type fence posts and stuff out there you can use. But you should have a hard barrier. That way, if they get out of one pen, they can't get out of the other. So at least they're contained. Because you're responsible for your animals. They go eat your neighbor's corn. They get on the highway and someone gets in a wreck and you're liable. So you got to remember all that stuff. And make sure that's done to the best of your ability. What else? I think that pretty much covers it. So, what is the value of raising your own animals and knowing what you're eating compared to the cost of doing it? That's for you to decide. To me, it's worth every penny. All right, let's get this hooked up. Stand by. Now, if you can't raise your own animals, there is a cotton picking rock there. It's driving me crazy. If you can't raise your own animals, find a farmer, get to know them, and buy local. The more local you buy, the better, in my opinion. That'll be good. And if the farmer's honest, whatever he wants for his animal, pay him. Don't dicker with him. He knows what it's worth. And he knows the work that goes into raising a good, healthy animal. All right, I'm gonna run this fence. Now, come on, there we go. I would say it's very important to have the best food you can nowadays. There's a reason that old cliche is still around: you are what you eat. Your body can only use what you give it. And then the more run down or sick you get, the less efficient your body is at breaking stuff down. And you're just going to get less and less out of your food. So meat is one of the most highly nutritious things you can eat. It's very nutritionally dense if it's raised properly. And if you think about it, let's say you give your body something that has 100% of what it needs. If your body can extract 100% what it needs from that, you're going to be healthy. Oh, there's a broken. I better pick that up. Broken steak. So if your body can extract what it needs, let's say your body can only extract 50% of what it needs because you're not healthy, then man, that sucker's really stuck in there. Then you're only going to get 50% of what you need, and then you can't, your body's never going to be able to keep up. It's always going to be deficient. And that's the last thing you want. And let's say you're sick. Maybe something as simple as your digestive system's not working right. And you can only extract 25% of what you need. Well, if you're eating food that only has 25% of what you need, and your body can only extract 25%, well, now you're basically only getting about 12% of what your body needs to stay healthy. And I would say, more than anything, children up to the age of 18 need the best food they can get. And I believe your brain's fully developed, so to speak, by age 25. So really, those first 25 years of your life, you need the best food you can get. And then after that, if you're healthy, then you'll probably be okay for a while. Okay, back to the weave. So, let me get on this side. Holy buckets. Come on. Let me flip this up a little bit. There you go. So, ultimately you need to decide what it's worth. Can you give up a vacation a year to make sure your family and your kids have good food? Can you put in a little bit of effort to taking care of them, to have good food? That's up to you. But I can tell you, the food you buy in the store is not what you think. I don't even think... Didn't I have another steak around here? In my opinion, if you have animals that you're raising, I don't even want to give my animals vaccines, my livestock, because I don't trust what they put in them, and they don't need them. I hate to say this, but as far as animals go, they're either going to make it or they're not. And if they don't make it, then you didn't want them. I am going to buy my own cows and a bull at some point here. And I know where I'm going to get them and who I'm going to get them from. And this guy has been raising his own line for a very long time. They're 100% grass fed, no shelter. They stay out in the winter. They're very good animals. Now, if you want a dollar amount associated with raising beef, I can't give that to you, because it's going to vary by area, how much feed you buy, all that stuff. Now, You don't have to grain your animals. I don't mind the grassy flavor of the fat. It's not the meat that has the grassy flavor, it's the fat. Which, that fat is just that much more better for you. It's like pigs, for example. Pigs that are raised outside on pasture, their lard is super high in vitamin D. And I said this so many times. Lard is not bad for you. Good lard is not bad for you. It's better for you than most of the oils you can buy in the store to cook with. And it has a pretty relatively high flash point or whatever. So, I mean, you can, I'd say probably around 400, 450 somewhere before it starts smoking. But yeah. It's good for you. Which, beef tallow or beef lard, beef fat, whatever you want to call it, is good for you. It's probably stretched up just a little too tight here. Let's try that. Yeah, I like that better. Don't be afraid of fat. Your brain's like, what is it, 60% fat or something like that? And people walk around, they're not eating any fat. And then they get Alzheimer's and they wonder why. It's like salt. People say, oh, I can't have salt, my blood pressure's high. Sorry, I'm just going to stop there because you have to educate yourself. Why is your blood pressure high? Did you know? Why do you think they tell you not to drink grapefruit juice when you're taking blood thinners to get your blood pressure down? Look it up. There's stuff on studies that they've done that if you drink grapefruit juice every day or eat a grapefruit, whatever, it naturally lowers your blood pressure. I don't know. The other thing is, listen, I'm going deep here. So, I've said this in other videos, and I will say it again, and I will say it again. If your hormones are out of balance, you will never be healthy. Never. Because they control, in one way, shape, or form or another, everything in your body. And most of the mainstream doctors don't want anything to do with fixing them. And you say, well, how can you fix them, John? There's different things you can do. You know, you gotta start asking questions, get on the computer, start reading, come to your own conclusion. All right, we're coming the whole way back on the leaf. Is it worth raising your own animals? Absolutely. How much does it cost? Can't tell you that. What's the hardest part of raising your own animals? Everything. For me, It's probably processing day, butchering day. I'm getting a soft heart in my old age, and I can't. I'm okay once they're down. I'm okay. It's the killing part that stresses me out. Gives me a lot of anxiety. So I'd ask you this. What's it worth to you to do to have the most healthy food you can have? Is it easier to go to the grocery store? Yep. Is the grocery store food, in this case meat, just as good as homegrown? In my opinion, it's not even close. Alright, let's let these mongrels out. I'll set you up over here. Hopefully this thing's still recording. Yep, it's still recording. Alright, let's set this thing up here somewhere where you guys can see and it ain't gonna fall over. You guys want some fresh pasture? Huh? There you go. You're on your own. I don't know if they'll follow me. I haven't tried this yet. Let's see if I can get them to follow me. Come on! We'll see what happens. Yep, here they come. Come on! Come on! Come on! Anyway, let's talk about the channel for a minute. So, my main purpose for having this channel is two things. One, it's a video diary, so to speak, for my family after I'm gone. They can come back and watch all my videos and make fun of me and laugh and remember all the stuff. Grandkids, whatever. Come on! Second thing is I wasn't raised on a farm, and I'm learning as I go. So I'm hoping that some of this stuff that I'm learning, someone will be able to take and apply to what they want to do, and it'll help them out. I'm approaching 1,000 subscribers, so anyone that subscribes, I greatly appreciate it. Once I hit 1,000 subscribers, then I can apply for monetization. And if you're like us, and everyone pretty much in my circle, everyone is pretty much living paycheck to paycheck. So every little bit helps. Come on! Come on! Come on! And, you know, if I could make a few bucks off of YouTube, that would be great. Because it's tough right now. Yep, here they come. Anyway, let me see if I can walk them this way. Come on! That steer, I said in a couple videos now, he'll be 3 in 2025, and his body size is noticeably bigger than the rest of them. Well, let's see what he does when he comes to the fence here. He's about to hit it. What are you doing? Well, let's see. These guys are probably going to take off. Uh-oh. There's a fence there. What are you going to do there, number 4? They're happy. It's always fun to put them in a new pasture. Alright, well, I'm going to end this video here pretty... Where'd I put that hammer? Cotton picker, I forget where I left it. I think I left it over here. I'm going to go find my hammer. But thank you to all my friends and family that subscribe. I appreciate all of you. Mom and Dad, when you're watching this video, thank you for everything you've ever done for us kids. I know it wasn't easy. Alright. God bless each and every one of you. Thanks for joining me today. We'll see you on the next one. Here we go.